Hey everybody, it's Generalkidd here. How's everyone doing today? So for today's video, there's a new update for Halo the Master Chief Collection, and it's actually a pretty awesome and kind of hilarious update too. I believe officially it's actually called the Yappening, because the grunt known as YapYap The Destroyer has taken over Halo the Master Chief Collection completely. And as you can see, even the main menu background has been completely taken over by him, and he is now the star of some grunt rock concert or something like that. But, you know, there's more to this update than just the nice background there, because it seems like every now and then 343 are doing rotational or seasonal backgrounds. We've had the winter themed background, we've had the Black History Month background, and now we have this background. I'm guessing it was supposed to be for April Fool's Day, but it'll probably last the whole month. But yeah, so aside from that, there's been a lot of other big changes. There's been, like, you know, under the hood, there's been like network improvements with the netcode and stuff like that. Should be a lot smoother now. A bunch of other bug fixes. But the biggest feature that I'm personally most excited about, that I really wanted, I wish there was in more games too, is that in Halo 2 custom games, classic custom games, there are now skulls in custom games. Yes, that's right. The same campaign skulls, at least a lot of them, the ones that make sense, are now here in custom games. You got your Grunt Birthday Party skull, which applies to Spartans and Elites now, of course. There's, you know, Blind Skull, Black Eye, Sputnik Skull, and Boom Skull, as well as Feather Skull, and a bunch of other skulls too. Now, you can already imagine you probably used Sputnik and Feather and Boom in a campaign before, and you know what it's like when you use those. So we'll definitely have a lot of fun with that in a bit. But aside from that, there's also new, really fun custom game options too. The most notable ones that you can now adjust the gravity of the maps in Halo 2. I know in Halo 3 and the newer Halo games you could change the player gravity, but that only applied to the players, so it had that limitation, and you know, it worked. But now, for Halo 2 classic custom games, you can change the gravity of 3 types of things. You could change the gravity for the world, which affects like everything, like crates and other objects, even like particles on the ground. Like if you shoot the ground and dirt kicks up from the ground, the dirt particles will actually respond correctly to the gravity. And then, of course, you could change the player gravity, just like you could in the newer Halo games, and you could change vehicle gravity as well. And vehicle gravity applies to, well, vehicles. And aside from that, they've also finally brought back turrets on the map. This is actually something that I totally forgot about from the classic OG Halo 2 days, but there was actually, like, you could, like, for example, on maps like Coagulation and other maps, you could spawn, like, shade turrets or machine gun turrets on the maps. But that feature has been missing, as far as I remember. But yeah, aside from that, there's also, you can now make vehicles indestructible, you can do infinite ammo, bottomless clip, a bunch of whole new really fun options they can do, on top of the skulls as well. So, to show you what this will look like, I actually set up 2 game types. One is called the low G playground, and the other is the high G playground. G meaning gravity or G-force. So low G means low gravity, and high G obviously means high gravity. So both these game types are pretty much the same. I have the same skulls on, Sputnik, Boom, Feather, Grunt Birthday Party, all the fun skulls. It's too bad there's no Scarab Skull. I really would have loved to see a Scarab Skull in custom games, but unfortunately there isn't. But yeah, so for low G, I set vehicle, player, and world gravity down to 25%, which is the minimum, and in high G it's set to 300%. But let's take a look at what that's like. Oh, and I forgot to point out, one of the other new features is a new loading screen that not only tells you like what players are in the game, but tells you your starting weapon, time limit, score, game type description. So it's pretty cool, and it's cleaned up a bit too. So, as you can see here, this is the low gravity game type, and it has a Sputnik and Feather on as well. So basically, not only is everything low gravity, but like when you punch things, it exerts a lot of force on them. Enough that like you can actually punch a Wraith into air, to float in midair. And if you launch yourself, well, let's just say, even like a small explosion is quite enough to launch you really high in the air, all the way up to like the skybox, essentially, up to the upper barrier of the map. So yeah, and this works on pretty much every map too. You can get pretty far out and pretty high up. Some maps you can get, like, you could pretty much land outside the map too, but other maps might have more limits to them, especially their indoor maps. And with UNSC weapons, the bullets have such high impact that when you shoot like another character, it's actually enough force that could launch them into the air, pretty much achieving escape velocity, essentially. And then of course, if you could easily fly across the map with this method, and even hit the sky. Now, dropping back down is really slow, but if you do manage to hit the ceiling, just shoot the ceiling and explosions will push you back down at a faster rate than if you just simply let yourself drop down. So, oh no, it's, yeah, you can pretty much imagine all the fun that you can have with this. Having like low gravity battles, and stuff like that. Or, what I like to do is, like, I keep launching my friend up in the air earlier, and whenever he tries to drop back down, I use like the UNSC weapons, either like an SMG or magnums, and I keep just like spamming it on him, and that pushes him back up, and he can never drop back down. It's kind of like a funny way to like keep them like suspended in the air indefinitely. Or you know, you just like jump up and like fire rockets down, trying to like launch each other up and stuff like that. It's, you know, a lot of fun stuff you could do with this basically. Now, if you're interested, if you just want to, you know, use my game types, the low gravity playground and high gravity playground, I'll be sure to upload both game types to my MCC file share if I can. I'm actually not sure if I can upload Halo 2 custom game types. I'm pretty sure I can. I just never tried it before, but if I can, it'll be there in my file share. Just, you know, look up my gamer tag Generalkidd on MCC, and then go to my file share. You should be able to grab these two game types, all set up for you, for fun, explosive action in both low gravity and high gravity. But we'll get to high gravity in a bit. Let me just finish showing you some of the other little things in low gravity. So in low gravity, vehicles, especially like the Warthog, they don't operate the same. In fact, the Warthog barely works in low gravity because it can barely keep its wheels on the ground, and there's not enough friction in that case to actually get the Warthog really moving. So it's actually really realistic physics in Halo 2. There are a few things that aren't quite, you know, correct, but for the most part, Halo's physics engines, at least since Halo 2, have been pretty good, actually, pretty realistic, especially with the way they handle gravity. So, I know there's obviously a few ridiculous things as far as Halo physics go, especially back in Halo 1, but, you know, for the most part, it's pretty realistic, and it's pretty cool that it's able to, like, handle all this. You know, like, it's just, you can pretty much simulate, like, realistic, like, lunar gravity or, gravity on, like, other planets and moons in the system, so it's a pretty cool thing. Now, switching to high gravity here, as you can see, at max gravity for everything, I have, you know, player gravity, vehicle gravity, and world gravity set to 300%. The Ghost doesn't even work that well in high gravity. If there's, like, a slope, the Ghost just slide right down, and you pretty much can't move it anymore. But ironically, you know, in low gravity, the Warthog barely works, but in high gravity, like maximum high gravity in this game, the Warthog actually functions perfectly. It actually functions better than regular gravity. Because it hugs the ground like perfectly. It handles perfectly in that way. It doesn't flip. It doesn't like roll or anything. It just sticks to the ground, and it even has like the handling so good that you could instantly brake the Warthog, like hit the brakes and back up instantly without having to slow down first. And then the Scorpion tank is really bizarre. First of all, like in high gravity, it looks like it's about to be split in half down the middle, but the Scorpion tank in high gravity can actually climb mountains and pretty crazy slopes. Like, it makes no sense. Like, this is where like the physics thing kind of gets a little wonky. I know I said physics in Halo 2 are accurate, but in high gravity, it's like a little odd, so to speak. Because normally, like, the best vehicles for climbing mountains and slopes is probably the Ghost or the Spectre. But in this case, in high gravity, the Scorpion exceeds even the climbing abilities of the Ghost and Spectre by quite a bit. And you could do some ridiculous climbing with the Scorpion tank. And there's also other weird things on other maps with high gravity. Let me let you listen to this one, actually. Alright, so I think that's probably enough. If you guys remember, a long time ago I did a video about a glitch on this map where if you get like a warthog onto this bridge here on Zanzibar, that bridge sound as it's falling down will keep playing over and over again as long as you have like a warthog or even a ghost on here. Well, in high gravity, the gravity is pretty much pressing down on that bridge a lot, and it causes that sound to constantly play, even though like there may not be a vehicle on it or not. But it pretty much has the same effect. Now, on other maps, especially with midship, the little platform here in the middle is very glitchy in high gravity. For example, if you stand on it and just punch it, it pretty much spazzes out and freaks out. Especially if you have like Feather and Sputnik on, it'll just go crazy. And even with like high overshields and stuff, you'll pretty much die like pretty quickly because it just spazzes out. But yeah, so that's basically some of the highlights of the new MCC update. There's definitely a lot of other stuff under the hood that they did. If you want, you can read it in the update here, or also go on Halo Waypoint and read their blog post. They definitely have a lot of other details for it. But for the most part, these are the most notable, and in fact my favorite part of the update that I think it was pretty awesome and wanted to share with you guys and show you how much fun you can have messing with the gravity as well as turning on skulls in Halo 2 custom games. Now, like I said, unfortunately, it's only in Halo 2 Classic custom games. I really wish, I mean, it's also in Halo 2 Classic matchmaking. There's some playlists with that. But I really wish it was in the other Halo games. And maybe eventually they'll add it to other Halo games as well. I would really love to see these features in Halo 3. But for now, it's only in Halo 2 Classic. But anyways, so hopefully you guys do try this update out. And if you do, enjoy. I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun with it for a while. But other than that, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like. Leave your thoughts in the comments. If there's any questions you have or anything you want me to check out, just let me know in the comments, and I'll do my best to look into it or answer your questions. And other than that, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all next time. Bye, guys.